What is going on, Dino Duelists? It is your man's amazing Mike Man here, and we are going to be going over watching some replays using my Dinosaur deck that got first place and top 32 at the YCS Anaheim Genesys side events. So in the deck profile, I kind of already went over the card by card, so that's not what this is. This is just a quick overview of the deck before we dive in. So here's the list. Let's dive in. Alright guys, so we got our first replay here. This is going to be against Fire King Jurrac. We lose a die roll and go second. So this is going to be a showcase on how we're going to go ahead and break a very grindy board. They're going to start off with Extrav, and they're going to go ahead and do a bunch of Fire King combos. But they're going to pop that Megalo, and they're going to get into Stero. So we're going to have to play through a nuke. They're going to give us a taste of our own medicine. Let's see if we can handle it. So I'm not going to speak too much on the Fire King combos, because I don't really play Fire King. I should learn how, though. It's pretty interesting how they can mix Jurrac with them. But yeah, the main thing to note here is that they're very grindy. They get a lot of effects when they trigger. And let me pause this. Okay, they get a lot of effects when they trigger. So I need to find a way to clear this board without, like, nuking everything, because then I'll just be triggering all their effects. So what I do here is, first things first, I activate Lost World and I kaiju them. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to give them that token with Lost World. This spell that they have says target an equal number of Fire King monsters you control and cards your opponent controls. They could pop Lost World, but the problem is if they have a token, they can't activate this, right? Because the Lost World says that if the opponent controls a token, they cannot target monsters in the field of card effects, including their own. So they cannot activate this in the first place because they can't even target their own Fire King. So by activating Lost World first and then kaijuing them, getting rid of the monster negate, if he doesn't chain this right now, he is this is going to be dead. So he doesn't chain it. So now the targeting is off. So that means he can't chain this. Also, his zones are occupied, so he cannot use Astero in the grave either. So him not chaining that was a big misplay on his part. But yeah, now I'm in a really good spot. I turned off this piece of interaction here, but I'm not in the clear yet. Also, I got rid of the monster negate. So in that play, no monster negate, no more quick play pop. But yeah, like I said, I'm not in the clear yet because there's a lot of sticky ass monsters I gotta clear and cards I gotta clear without triggering their effects. So what I do here is I'm gonna start off with Overraptor. I'm gonna go ahead and add Misk. And this isn't just for the protection, but also really important. It's for the effect to get Archosaur, right? This is going to help us combo off. We need to pop this Petite to get going. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to pop that Petite. And Petite is going to go ahead and trigger. And also Xenometeorus is going to, so Petite Chainlink 1, Xenometeorus Chainlink 2. So we're going to summon that Xeno and get that Stego. We're going to go to OV, pop Archosaur, bring back Petite, and then Xeno's going to pop Petite and get a Frost. Now here you might be thinking Lars or maybe going into Lars or something, right? Because I guess Lars could stop the Meteor when it comes out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and actually go for an even better play, make Chengying here, right? Chengying is completely immune to Meteor because I can just banish to protect it from card effects. And also this is, you know, assuming that Lost World is going to get off the field at some point, Chengying is also immune to the quick play spell. So Chengying is going to be really problematic. And not just that, Chengying banishes, so we're able to clear a lot of the pesky cards like Ponix and a lot of their floating effects. So we can just kind of bypass that. So here we're going to go ahead and we're going to activate Stego. Stego's going to pop that Frost, because that Frost isn't doing anything for us here. We used our level 6 tuner, so we can't really overlay with it at this point. So we're going to go ahead and Stego pop that, clear up the zones, and then we're going to go ahead and send a UCT, summon these two guys, right? And you might be thinking, okay, here we're going to go into Astero. Wrong. Jurrac Titano has an effect. He's not just a brick. Its effect is once per turn you get advantage to Jurrac with a 1700 strike from your graveyard, and he gains 1000 attack until the end phase. So we're going to go ahead and use Jurrac Megalos effect. Discard 2 to draw 2. So the cards in our hand, we just pitched them. We weren't going to use Pill, and Aeolo is a brick. So that's good because now Titano can banish the Aeolo from the graveyard, and that's going to trigger Chengying. So we can go ahead and trigger Chengying in the main phase, and get rid of that Ponix and that Astero, right? Because you can't even chain Astero at this point. So now we don't have to worry about the nuke at all, and that's really good for us. And then we're going to go ahead and Synchro, get our Astero, continue, and now we have a nuke. So we have 2 nukes actually. And here, we're going to go ahead and crash our Stego. That's going to let us bounce a face-up card on the field, bounce it to the hand. It doesn't target, so as long as it's destroyed by battle, we can, yeah, when this card is destroyed by battle, return one face-up card on the field to the hand. This is really good because when we crash this, we can bounce our Kaiju. And that's going to be really good because that is another way to clear a monster without destroying it. So we're going to go ahead and use Stego, bounce Dogoran, and then we're going to just kill that. I didn't know he had Ponix in hand, so unfortunately he's able to generate some advantage and search another spell. And he gets a Fire King Skyburn. So here I decided not to attack anymore. I don't want to trigger any more crazy effects. But I did tribute that with Dogoran. So basically I was able to get to resolve a Kaiju twice, banish a card in the grave and a card on the field of the Shenging. So there's a lot of like interesting synergies here with like Shenging and Titano, and then Stego with like Kaijus. So yeah, it's like those hidden like text effects you don't really like look into too much, but it's always like really important to like really know what your cards do, because you can find interesting synergies with this, not just in this deck, but like any deck you play. So I'm going to go ahead and end turn, but he tries to activate this, but unfortunately for him, he cannot, because Lost World, he has a token, he can't target his own monsters. So he passes, he overlays, tries to make Dingirsu, Orchest of the Evening Star, and I negate the summon with Dracostero, which causes him to go ahead and scoop. So we're going to move on to game 2. I'm going to go second again. And he does some Fire King combos, gets that engine going. He pops Megalos, so I have to play through an Astero yet again. No problem for the Mike Man though, because if there's one thing I can do, it's play around a deck I'm quite familiar with. Well, let me rephrase that. Play around a card I'm quite familiar with, because I'm not super familiar with Fire King, but I am familiar with Jurracs. So I'm going to go ahead and Hatrunet everything. Not everything, because it only bounces set cards, so at least the Fiendish Chain and the Skyburn. So luckily for us, we opened Misk. That was really lucky. So we're going to go ahead and Misk, protect our Stego. We're going to go ahead and do a Stego combo. And we're going to go ahead and make Horned Brute Carnivorous. We're going to go ahead Misk, banish 4, get Oviraptor. Ovi's going to get us UCT. And we're actually going to have to drop UCT here, because what UCT is going to do for us is he's going to pop the Petite in our hand. Now, this is an interesting situation, because my only starter was Stego, realistically. I drew Double Evolution Pill, so I did have Misk Petite, but unfortunately that's not combo, because if I summoned Archosaur, I couldn't search another pill. So my starter had to be Stego. So unfortunately we're locked in Dinosaurs. I cannot do the Chenging stuff again. So I have to find a way to get through this board and deny him as much floating as possible, while also ensuring I can float as much as possible. Because basically, that meteor is going to be coming down. So I have to build a board that can survive that meteor, or not survive it, but more so, grind through it, outgrind him. And it's going to be a hard thing to do to outgrind Fire King, but let's see if the Mike Man can do it. So I'm going to go ahead and activate Volcano. The Volcano is going to be great because it's going to protect our Jurracs from his meteor. So we're going to go ahead and activate Ovi, pop Megalo, and Megalo is going to get us Astero. And Aeolo is going to tribute, bring back Stego. And then here we're going to make Grandiosaurus Giga Cannon. And this is great for clearing or breaking boards. The reason Giga Cannon is great for clearing boards is because if he's popped, and I have multiple things that can pop him. Volcano pops him, Meteorus pops him, and UCT pops him. So many different ways to pop it. This targets a card on the field. If it's destroyed, you can target a card on the field, destroy it, and burn for 1,000. So this is great because it can get rid of a pesky card like this. Now this is a problem for us because when he activates Jurrac Meteor to nuke the field, this will actually protect, let's see, yeah. This says, once per turn if a card on the field is going to be destroyed by card effect, you can destroy a fire in your hand or field instead. This will actually protect the Fire King Island. The reason for that is because the card that's being used as substitution destruction, it's very similar to Lost World. So just those who are not familiar, I did cover this in my deck profile, but basically if the board is being nuked by like Meteor, Black Rose, Track Impact, something like that, and you want to use Lost World's effect to protect the token by destroying a dinosaur in your deck, you can do that. Because the dinosaur you're destroying in deck is not marked for destruction, therefore it is eligible to be used as destruction substitution. Same thing with Fire King Sanctuary. Fire King Sanctuary is not being used as substitution. What's being used as substitution is the fire monster in your hand or field. So this to me seems like a one-to-one a 1-to-1 like ruling case with Lost World. So what I don't want him to do is summon Meteor, nuke everything, and then this will protect the Fire King Island and allow him to destroy a card in his hand and continue to pop off, or like get effects. So I really want to get rid of this card. So that's why I go Xenometeor's pop with the Giga Cannon to get the Frost out. So then Giga Cannon's going to go ahead and pop that Sanctuary and burn for 1,000. We're going to make Drill, and Drill's going to bring back our Misk. Now that's important, right, because it's going to let us grind. This is going to be a grindy situation because he's on a bunch of Fire King stuff, and he's going to nuke everything, he's going to get effects. So I also want to be able to like continue playing in the grind game. That's why it's really important to bring back Misk. This is going to be good because when this is popped, I can shuffle back Frost, which means Xeno will be live again. I can do that again and make Lars. Also later on, and then also this can summon back. So this is grindy, this is floaty. Unfortunately, I didn't really want to summon UCT here because this isn't really float at all. But, I had to pop that Petite, so. He's going to go ahead and summon Meteor here, and I'm able to stick my Astero because Volcano can protect. Not just that, I can bring back my Jurrac Dinos. And his Fire King Island's going to activate, destroying all the cards on his field. And I'm able to have just too much gas. Because he has to play through 2 nukes here. Actually, 3 nukes. Because remember my original deck profile, I said the bare minimum you need is 2 Jurrac Asteros and follow-up, which I have attained. Because what's going to happen is when I pass turn, I can activate the first Astero, banish itself. Let's assuming he outs this person on field, right? Let's say he does a Kaiju or something. I banish Astero and say Stego, summon Meteor. Meteor's going to nuke everything, bring back Megalo. Second Astero will summon Meteor. That Meteor will pop my second Megalo. Megalo will activate, sending my third Astero. And basically I'll have 3 Meteors, because if you have 2 Asteros, you basically have 3 Meteors. Because you can pop Megalo on the opponent's turn, getting you your third Astero. And then also have Misk for the follow-up. And that was versus Fire King. Let's get into the next replay. Okay, so we got our second replay here. And this is going to be against Vanquish Soul, okay? So we lose a die roll, opponent goes first. And luckily for us, they brick. So this is going to be very quick. Game 1, he ashes Marcosaur, but I follow up in the form of Jurrac Volcano. I love this card, man. So good. So we're able to play through that, and then Volcano gets Stego, and we're able to go full Stego combo. And then we have follow up in our hand in the form of Overraptor. So we are chilling here. And yeah, so then we go second this game. And he starts off with Extrav and draws 2. This is Vanquish Soul Canine, because he's got the Canine Jokul. It's going to be a really tough board to out, because he has like a lot of gas here. He's able to get Holisu online. He has a DD Crow and a Dragon's Mind as well. It's going to be really tough to play through this. Yep, full on combo, and then here we go. He goes end phase, he has a set Snow Devil. And this is a really pesky card because of the effect that makes it so all of his Vanquish Souls cannot be destroyed by card effects and for the whole turn. So that's really pesky. And then also, on top of that, I have to play through this, which if a Vanquish Soul monster you control be destroyed by battle card effect, you can reveal a Vanquish Soul monster in your hand instead. So Meteor does not necessarily solve this board. So it's a really pesky thing to deal with. So I go ahead and Dark Hole, he protects these guys. And then, I guess I forced that out. I forced this guy out with that. So I'm going to go ahead and Arco pop Petite, add Pill, Petite get Overraptor, Ovi get Misk. Misk gets that protection. He has the Crow for it, which isn't the worst thing in the world. I could always make Duelingbook Nathis and bring it back. And then he activates that effect to special a Vanquish Soul from hand. Protect them from card effects, and destroy all my monsters, but I'm under Misk, so my monsters are not going to be destroyed. But he's able to summon something from hand and get that protection, which is annoying. So he summons Vanquish Soul Rosin. Rosin's going to get Holisu. And he's going to summon Caesar Valius. Now this is annoying because I really don't want to deal with the 3k towers. That's why I fire off this Dark Ruler right now to make sure this guy can be affected. But like, I'm still struggling with like how to clear him. So yeah, from here we're gonna do some combos. I hope to draw into anything. I just drew into babies. And I go ahead and revive that Aeolo with Oviraptor. And then Megalo is going to send a Stero. And then I'm basically synchro climbing, but I scooped that one up because I realized I wasn't really going to win that. He just had too much gas. So I'm going first this game. And I have a lot of gas here. I got Ovi, triple baby, Misk, or double baby Misk. So I had Xeno. He gets to do the draw 2 discard 1 thing with that engine. And I got the Misk Archosaur play. And yeah, I'm able to get that pill. And then Trigger Baby is Chain Link 1 over Xeno is... Oh. I missed the line with Xeno. But there we go. I remembered as Xeno this time. So we go Chain 1 Petite, Chain 2 Xeno. Xeno's going to summon itself from hand, and then we're going to get that Giant Rex. We're going to make Dolka. And then Xeno's going to pop Baby, get Frost. And then we're going to make Lars. So it's going to be a pretty heavy negate board here. And then we're going to get our Stero on line 2 by having Stegos destroy the Archosaur, send ECT, and get Titano out, as well as the Megalo. We're going to get a Stero, and then we're going to activate Volcano, pop, and get Megalo. And here we have a Stero as soon as this gets popped, so assuming he activates enough monster effects. When this gets popped, that'll be my second Stero, and then Volcano could provide our third. But he's going to have to play through 2 monster negates, 2 Lars negates, and the summon negate. So let's see if he can do it. Now, unfortunately, he's able to tribute summon to beat over Dolka. But I still have Lars. So I negate the first effect, and then he bounces it with Caesar Valius. Here, I actually, instead of like double chaining Lars and denying him the search, there's an argument to be made that I probably should have done that. Instead, what I do is I actually let it happen because I decide, okay, dude, this Caesar Valius is going to become a 3k body. It's already a 3k body, but can become unaffected. It's like not something I want to stick around. So I'm figured it's min phase 2, right? Because he used his battle phase to beat over my Dolka. So I'm like, let me hold my negate for him, so I can prevent him from becoming unaffected, and then I can actually deal with him. That's my logic here. So especially with this Dark Hole, that's going to come in clutch because I know he's going to chain to, make him unaffected. Then I could chain Lars. So I decided to hold my Lars for that because I really don't want to be dealing with the Caesar Valius. And then he sets a card. He sets that Cyclone, gets rid of the Volcano. Isn't too annoying. It is a little bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. So he's going to go ahead and activate Caesar Valius, reveal the Earth to make himself unaffected. I chain Lars, and then I'm able to clear everything. And now this is fine for me. Oh, he's also activating those other effects to get the searches and stuff. So that's fine for me because now Megalo can activate, and I can get that get another Astero in the graveyard. So here I'm going to go ahead and activate Lost World. I didn't normal summon, so I'm going to go ahead and normal summon Baby Saurus, give him a token. Unfortunately, I had to use Dark Hole a bit earlier to force out his Caesar Valius. But here what I do is I'm going to go ahead and Lost World to give him the token, because Dark Hole would have gone crazy here. Imagine if I had a second one. But I'm going to give him that token. It's going to stop his targeting effects. And I'm going to go ahead and activate Pill. He ashes it, no problemo. But I'm going to get that Giant Rex, which is just nice to have. He's going to go ahead and summon that Holisu. And then Holisu is going to go ahead and activate the effect of Special. Mad Love, and Mad Love's going to get him his start. So here I'm going to go ahead and clear some of these bodies because these effects are really pesky. Luckily for us, he does not have an Earth. But yeah, the effect to steal my monster and the effect to bounce a monster is really annoying. So I want to clear these guys, so I clear them. And then the main thing here is attack the token. I'm going to attack the token, use Lost World, destroy Baby, get Oviraptor, and my engine is online. That's why Lost World is so cracked, man. So if you got a token up on field and you just have any way to pop it, like, you are chilling. Lost World is so good. Just constant access to our engine, constant access to popping the Baby, so good. So here we're going to go ahead, OV, pop Baby, bring something back. So we're going to go ahead and OV, pop Baby, bring back Xenometeorus. Baby's going to go ahead and activate, getting us a Stego. So we're going to go ahead and Synchro Summon for Chang'e, and then Overlay. So I kind of messed up, but I fixed it. So basically, made a rank 4, and we're going to Synchro the Giant Rex and the Xenometeorus to make Chang'e. Now Chang'e is going to be crazy because he's going to be we have the Astero set up, we're going to be able to nuke everything, and then Changing is going to be immune, and then that's also going to trigger Changing's banishing effect. So it's going to be pretty good. So I negate the start, and then he's going to search with Rosin. He's going to pop my Logia. But that's not a problem. I mean, Logia did its job at this point. And then he's going to summon the Jiaowang and summon Worker. And yeah, the problem is he can't summon Worker because I have Lost Order on field and he cannot target monsters on the field of card effects. So I got that dub against Vanquish. On to the next replay. Okay, so here's our third replay. It's going to be up against Gem-Knight OTK. And I don't remember who won the die roll, but we're going to go first regardless, right? Because they're a blind second deck. So we're going to go ahead and OV search baby, ground Xeno, add Xeno, pop that baby, get our engine going. And that's pretty good gas. Unfortunately for us, the opponent has a Fualos. So we have to like end on like a sort of half board and to play into the Fualos as little as possible. So we have to give them that extra draw by going into Astero. It's really important because that gives us Impact Search, that's an extra nuke, on top of the Summon Negate. And also eventually when it goes into the grave, a third nuke. So I feel like that's definitely worth giving him a draw. That's like two nukes plus a Summon Negate off of that one Astero. So we're going to go ahead and OV, pop Megalo, revive something that will not, and that lets us pop Megalo, get Astero, and that will not trigger a draw because it's from graveyard. And then here we overlay into Dolka, that gives him a draw. And yeah, I gave him like, what, 3 draws off of Fualos? I really didn't want to give him 3, but yeah, that's what I ended up doing. So he draws for turn, he Offerings of the Doom, clears his Dolka. And I chain Impact to make sure that, because I do not want Brilliant Fusion going off. He activates this card. On activation, I chain Astero, summon Meteor, nuke it. Because he's on a fusion deck, right? I'm not going to be summoning, negating summons with Astero. Let's be realistic. He activates Hollow Core to Foolish a Gem-Knight and do other things. Now, Hollow Core is a problem because he's going to be able to negate one of our Meteors or Asteros, and that's a big problem for us. So I ended up scooping it up because he just had a lot of gas. I don't think I was winning that one. Maybe I was. I probably should have played it out at least, but I did scoop that one up. So we move on to game 2. We're going to go first yet again. And I opened Queen of the Blazing Domain. Now, a quick side note, this is this replay. Actually, all 4 of these replays that I'm going to be showing you are from actually before the YCS. So this is my first time ever actually summoning Queen of the Blazing Domain. And yeah, it's pretty neat. So we're going to go ahead and Overraptor, add Megalo. And we're going to activate Megalo, pop. And then we're going to go ahead and OV, pop Megalo, bring back Petite. And then Megalo is going to send Astero. It's going to be our first nuke. And we're going to activate Queen, popping Volcano and Petite. And then Petite's going to summon Xenometeorus. Ignore that previous notification. That notification sound. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and Xeno, pop, OV, get Lars. We're going to have Stego get our Astero online by sending UCT and summoning Titano. Yep. And then we're going to go ahead and activate Megalo, discard 2, draw 2. I shouldn't have done that, man. I should have kept the DD Crow because my draws weren't super great. I mean, these are okay. The Pancratops is dead, just as dead as the Aeolo is in this situation. But the baby is pretty nice. But yeah, it probably would have been better to keep the DD Crow. Anyway, but the thing is, you never know, right? So I figured, like a dead card and a live card, I could draw 2 live cards. So I make Astero. Astero's going to go ahead and set that impact. And here we have 4 nukes, right? Because remember, 2 Asteros means 3 Asteros, right? Because we're going to pop a Megalo and then get that 3rd Astero. So 1, 2, 3 nukes. We have Queen, which can't be destroyed by card effects, and we have 2 negates. This is a pretty strong turn 1 board. And let's see if the opponent can play through it. He's going to start off by cycloning the impact. I should have negated with Lars. I don't know why I did not. But Lars is going to go ahead and negate that, and I'm going to negate the Chalice. Now, unfortunately, I was wrong. I told him you can't target it, Lars, but no, I should have read my card. Yeah, cannot target it with monster effects. So that was me being foolish. Anyway, I go ahead and chain that. Then he goes Book of Eclipse, sets my field. Now that's really annoying because I can't pull off the Queen of the Blazing Domain like one-sided Macrocosmos effect. Well, it's not really Macrocosmos because it's only cards that are cards on field that would be sent. that'd be banished, but you know what I'm saying. Like this card, I wasn't really able to fully utilize it, unfortunately. He's going to go ahead and activate Gem Armadillo, search that quartz, and get his engine started. I have my 1 Astero in the grave, and I go ahead and nuke that so I can pop the card that he set, and then also get my other 2 Asteros in the graveyard, or my 1 Astero. And then, oh shit, okay. He passed turn. I go ahead and activate Lost World, give him a token, normal baby, and I'm going to go ahead and attack into it. Lost World's going to go ahead and pop a baby. And then we're going to go ahead and get Overraptor. And we just have like a lot of gas here. We're going to go ahead and Overraptor. Yep, and he scoops it up. So we're going to move on to game 3. We're going to go first yet again. And like I said, this is before YCS Anaheim, so I was testing other things. I was on Final Bringer at the end times at one point. I decided to cut it. I just found other cards that were better. But this card's kind of neat. You know, you could pop a baby and a card the opponent controls. But anyway, here, the cool thing I do here is Lost World plus Dark Hole. And Lost World's going to go ahead and protect that baby, or protect the token, pop a baby, get our Stego online. And then we're going to go ahead and Stego, full Stego combo here, which is pretty nice. And then we're going to go into Hornbrook Carnivorous. Now, since we had to normal summon Aolo, we had to do 3 Megalos. But that's okay, because we can use Overraptor to make a Astero instead of having that second Aolo bring back Stego. So we're going to go ahead and Megalo, draw, pitch 2, draw 2. We draw into Ground Xeno, which is going to be really strong for our follow-up. And then we're going to go ahead and OV pop that, and then Megalo's going to send. And then Astero. And here is our lovely end board. Our lovely end board is going to be it's going to be 2 nuke, or actually all 4 nukes. We have Impact, and then the 2 Asteros, and like I said before, 2 Asteros means 3 Asteros. And yeah, so we have 4 nukes plus follow-up in the form of Overraptor plus Ground Xeno. And that's going to be pretty and plus, I mean, we also have like Lost World with a token, which means they can't target. Also means that when we do flip Impact, we could pop Baby and continue accessing our engine. So he starts off by Cosmic Cycloning, banishing our Impact. And then he's going to start off with Brilliant Fusion. Now that's annoying for us because our Impact can't chain to it, so he does get the Brilliant Fusion effect. So he's going to summon that fusion and activate the effect to summon all those fusions. But he bounces the Hollow Core, which was a big mistake on his part because now is the perfect time for me to activate that first Astero. So that's precisely what I'm going to do. I'm going to activate that Astero because that Hollow Core is not in the graveyard. He's not going to be able to negate my Astero or Meteor. So I'm going to go ahead and nuke the field. And he uses, I believe it was this one's effect to pop the Lost World. Yeah, Roast Diamond, yep. So we're going to go ahead and Meteor nuke everything. We're not going to be able to protect the token, no big deal. We're going to go ahead and trigger Megalo. Megalo is going to send that Astero. Now we have 2 more Meteors for the opponent to play through. Let's see if they can push through 2 more nukes. He's going to activate Hollow Core, or summon Hollow Core rather. And yeah, so here I'm going to go ahead and fire a nuke off. And he has the Hollow Core to protect, to negate. Yep, he's going to negate that Meteor. Man, thank God Hollow Core is a hard once per turn. Could you imagine if it wasn't? But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and activate a second Meteor in the same... That's what I love about Astero, man. You could just use Astero at any point. So I'm going to go ahead and summon Hornbrute Carnivorous. He's going to go ahead and activate the effect of Gem-Knight Quartz, get this card, and then summon a fusion to beat over my Hornbrute Carnivorous. But luckily for us, Hornbrute Carnivorous has an effect that lets me summon a Dinosaur from hand when an attack is declared. This card deadass comes up a lot, man. So we're going to go ahead and summon our Pankratops, but he chains to pop my Hornbrute Carnivorous. So that's going to resolve first, and I'm going to summon Pankratops. And Pank is going to pop that, and that's going to pop that. And then here, I'm going to go ahead and normal summon Overraptor, get Baby. I generally don't know what a set is. It's Offerings to the Tombed. So it is a form of interruption, but it's not going to be nearly enough to stop all this gas I have. So we're going to go ahead and Ground Xeno pop, get that Baby, and then we're going to have OV pop. But then he has Offerings to the Doom. And the reason I didn't chain Xeno is because I didn't know what his back row was. So I could have like chain blocked, but I didn't know what his back row was, and I had that follow up in the form of Dark Hole plus Xenometeorus plus the babies on field. So I held it. So I go ahead and Dark Hole, and then I'm going to chain Xenometeorus. And then Baby's going to activate, and this is going to be a lot of gas right here. And yeah, literally Xeno can pop the Petite, get Frost. I can make a Drill here, and then Drill bring back Misk, and then that's going to be some excellent follow-up, and then plus I can Logia, which is going to negate whatever his top deck is. So he sees the writing on the wall and scoops it up. And that was versus Gem-Knights. Alright, Duelists, now we have our replay number 4 against Ghoti Shark. So, the Ghoti deck, I remember I've seen quite a lot before the YCS. After the YCS and during the YCS, I didn't see too much of it around. I wonder if popularity fell off. But like I said, a couple of these replays were before the YCS Anaheim. So here, Overraptor plus Megalo is full combo. Basically, you Overraptor, add Stego, and then special Megalo effect, discard Stego, draw 2, right? And that's pretty good. Or you can go Overraptor, dump Stego, Megalo effect, summon itself, and then OV pop Megalo, bring back Stego. Either way, you're going to use OV to bring back the Stego, right? If you want to be greedy and get that draw 2, then you can. Unfortunately, that opens you up to losing to Droll. So, and there's no real way to know if your opponent has Droll or not, so I go for the greedy play, I add Stego, and that Droll just screws me, right? Because I'm not able to discard Stego and draw 2 anymore at this point, which is really unfortunate. So I had a full combo that could have played through Droll like very easily if I just sent Stego if I knew he had Droll, but of course, you know, you can't really know that. So my only play here is to special Megalo, hope he doesn't read it, and hope he attacks into it, and I hope he turns on my nuke. So that's really my only play. He does a bunch of like Ghoti combos. Gets the Shark. Yeah. So he has like the Shark stuff. He has the Ghoti stuff. And he goes to battle phase, and I'm thinking, hell yeah, he fucking didn't read it, and no, he chose not to attack Megalo, and I'm like, fuck. So, I activate Volcano, and I'm hoping he activates 4 monster effects, because this deck plays on the opponent's turn, you know? So he might do 4 monster effects, and I might be able to get off this Volcano, you know? So that's the game plan here. He banishes my Megalo, very unfortunate. He does that before I can pop it with Volcano. Ideally, if he didn't do any of that, I would have Volcano, popped Megalo, and then gone from there, but he was able to get rid of my cards. So here, I go ahead and activate, he activated 4 monster effects and summoned a monster, so Volcano let me summon Meteor, and I'm going to go ahead and nuke the field. Hopefully, resetting to a simpler game state will make it, you know, a bit more in my favor. He pops the Meteor, but it doesn't matter, because Meteor is going to get popped anyway. And, yeah, so I go ahead and normal summon Stego, but he still has plays on my turn, and I'm like, shit, yeah, there's no way I'm winning this. So, because, well, actually, I was waiting for him to interrupt me, and then, yeah, he interrupts me, so I scoop it up. But yeah, so we're going to move on to game 2, and I go first. And this is like back when I was setting Funnel Bringer, so this is before YC Anaheim. I tested it, Funnel Bringer, it doesn't come up in this game or the previous one, so partially part of the reasons why I cut it. So we're going to go ahead and OV plus Ground Xeno combo, add that baby. Or no, it was Ground Xeno plus Petite combo. Either way, I'm popping off right here. And then Funnel Bringer is just a bit more of like a win more card here. Because, I mean, I had full combo regardless, right? But, yeah, we have just a lot of gas here. And then I just had to think on what I was going to summon. And then I'm going to go ahead and summon Misk for the follow-up, which is pretty nice. I have so much gas, I don't even have to use Misk's effect to banish. I'm just going to use it as materials, which is nice because I have the follow-up, you know. So we're going to go ahead and make Lars, and then we're going to go ahead and Stego, pop Megalo, get that Astero in the graveyard, great, because we popped Megalo, and then we're going to summon Titano Aeolo. And then we're going to go ahead and send that Astero, and then make Astero, get Impact, and here we have everything we could possibly need. We have 4 nukes, right, because 2 Asteros means 3 Asteros. We have Impact right here, so we have 2, which is 3, plus the 1, so 4 nukes, plus follow-up in the form of Misk, plus 4 negates, plus Lost World, which means we could, like, when we do eventually blow up the field, we could use Lost World to protect the token, get Petite, and then get Pank. So we have 4 nukes, Pank on the opponent's turn, and 4 negates. 4 negates, 4 nukes, plus a quick effect pop. Or, I mean, we could choose to just go Overraptor and search, or like go baby, and just kind of float through babies to continue to access our engine. There's like so many different like Lost World just gives us a lot of options. But yeah, this is like probably the strongest possible board you could end on, is this. Oh, plus a summon negate. So 4 negates, 2 mushroom negates, 2 generic negates, 4 nukes, and a summon negate. Pretty strong end board. And he's just not going to be able to break through it. We're going to go ahead and Duel negate, and then we're going to move on to game 3. He goes first, and I don't really know the Ghoti deck too well, but it looks like he bricked because his end board is just going to be a rank 4 pass. So I go ahead and Dark Hole, clear that monster, and then OV plus Lost World is pretty strong. He does have the Droll, but luckily Lost World does not care about Droll, because through Lost World we have constant access to our babies. So that Ground Xeno is going to be pretty dead here, because he Drolled us. Which is why usually you want to Ground Xeno first to play around Droll. If you open Ground Xeno OV, you usually want to fire off that Ground Xeno first. Unfortunately, in this case, I didn't have Baby, and I wanted to get that Baby in hand. But yeah. So we're going to go ahead and special that Megalo, pop the token, get Baby, or protect the token rather. Pop Baby, get Petite, OV, pop Petite. Oh, dude, just gas here. Pop Petite, bring back Baby. Petite will summon Xenometeorus. And then we're going to go ahead and Xeno, pop Baby, get Frost. And then Baby's going to trigger, giving us our Misk, which means we have excellent follow-up, which is going to be really nice. And then we're going to go Dolka Lars. I mean, 4 negates. We didn't really get any nukes set up, unfortunately. But 4 negates plus no targeting is a pretty good spot to be in, especially considering we went second. So we're going to go ahead and negate, destroy that monster. He's going to activate that. I decided to let that go through. And then he has like these chain links, but I'm going to go ahead and, this is chain link 1 that tells me he wants that to go through, so I'm going to go ahead and Lars, negate that. And then I think Harpooner, that like, yeah, this card is, you can negate the effects of one effect monster opponent controls. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and, unfortunately, Dolka, yeah. Anyway, I won. I don't know why I said unfortunately, but yeah, I won. I just said too much. And follow up from Ground Xeno plus Baby, plus the Misk in the grave, so we were chilling. We're definitely winning that one. Alright, Duelists, those were some pretty cool replays I wanted to share. Hope you all enjoyed it. I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace out, guys.